With great pleasure and enthusiasm, we the Cest Club of NIT Rourkela, in collaboration with ICE NIT Rourkela, bring you to an enlightening session of Alumni Speaks.
Good morning and welcome everyone. I am Prishita Preetham, a sophomore in civil engineering.
This is
And
Sugyani Sethi and will be the host for the session of our very informative and encouraging talks from Illuminate Alumni.
so, before we hop on to our main focus of this session, let us take a glimpse of what our club is about, the mind boggling initiatives made by it, and the milestones set by it. So, can we please have the video for it? Let's have the video.
Where people have sort of used robots to do these inspections.
These sensors will be very quickly able to tell you.
So very interesting that we left it for curing.
Today it's an honor to have with us Mr. Debashish Khuntia, an alumnus of NIT Rourkela from the batch of 2011 to 2016 of Civil Engineering branch. Along with having a decent academic record, he has bagged the first position in OPSC examination for Assistant Executive Engineer, that is OPSC AEE. So he will be enlightening us with some of the tips and tricks to achieve the goals and dreams we all aspire for. I hope this session will be beneficial to the student committee and whoever is listening to us right now.
But before we begin the session, I would like to call upon Mr. Mihir Panda, President of the Cest Club of NIT Rourkela, for a welcome address. Mihir Bhaiya, over to you.
Good morning, everyone. Hope you all are doing well. Myself, Mihir Panda, a pre-final student from the Department of Civil Engineering and the current president of Cest Club. First of all, I would like to thank you all for turning up for this session. Since its inception, Cest and IC have always strived to bring enlightening and insightful workshops, webinars, talk sessions for the student community. Being in a core branch, PSU government jobs are one of the highly sought after job opportunities. This session will help you in every aspect, whether you are preparing, aim to prepare in future, or haven't given a thought about it yet. Our guest for this OPSC talk session is Mr. Debasish Khuntia sir. We have planned a Q&A session at the end, so stay tuned for that. So without any further delay, let's move ahead. Hope you all enjoy this talk session. Over to you, Prasita.
Uh, so thank you, Mihir Bhaiya. But before we begin, a small request to our audience that if you have any queries during the session, do type them in the live comment section and we will address them post the informative session by our special speaker. Sir, over to you now.
A very good morning to all. I would like to thank Mehir, Prisita,
So
and
without
Sukyani
any,
hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Oh,
sir. You
yes,
may
I would
go
like to
on.
thank Mehir, Prisita, Sukyani, and the whole Cest team for organizing this and inviting me to this platform. So, before we start, a little about me. Okay, I have completed my schooling from Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, Konark, Puri. After that, I graduated from NIT Rourkela. I completed a BTech in Civil Engineering and MTech in Water Resource Engineering under dual degree program. And I was also placed in Mu Sigma as a trainee data scientist. But after that, I denied that offer and went to Delhi for civil service preparation. And presently, I am working as an assistant executive engineer in Khordha block under Panchayat Raj department. So the whole purpose of this webinar is what Mihir told me to what are the main career options for a civil engineer who is graduating freshly from college. Okay. So I have listed out here mainly three career options for a civil engineer. So the first one is private sector campus placement. So generally in your final year, there are many companies, many private sector, many corporates visiting the campus. So you can go through, you can opt for those companies. And next comes the government sector. Basically in four branches like mechanical, civil, or electrical, many people prefer government jobs. Okay. So here you can opt for Indian Engineering Services under UPSC, Odisha Engineering Services under OPSC. You can also opt for public sector undertakings for which recruitment are done through GATE examination, and other options like railway sectional engineer or SSC JE or Odisha JE. Okay. So the third career option is higher studies. Those who have completed, they can also, those who are interested also for higher studies, they can opt for MTech through GATE examination or also opt for PhD. These are the main options for a civil engineer. Here I have not mentioned the career options. Those who want to switch from civil engineering background, okay, I have limited to civil engineering optional, for a civil engineer. So apart from being a civil engineer, there are also other career options like you can go for IAS or UPSC Civil Services or MBA. These are also other options. Okay. So here our main focus is about Odisha Engineering Services. So for which OPSC recruitment is done through OPSC. I would like to mention here the career progress once you join as an assistant executive engineer in Odisha government. Okay, basically you start with assistant executive engineer, then the next promotion comes within 5 to 8 years as an executive engineer. Then next comes a superintending engineer and additional chief engineer. After that comes chief engineer, which is also equivalent to additional secretary rank in government. In fact, the designation is also in some department, the chief engineer come additional secretary. With the additional secretary, here comes the administrative power. And the highest position where you are likely to land up is engineering chief. Okay. So the next questions come: how OPSC recruits for assistant executive engineer. Basically, the recruitment is done through two departments: one through water resource department and another through Panchayat Raj department. Basically, water resource department collectively recruits for water resource department, public works department, and housing and urban development department. The exam is basically conducted through two stages. First stage is MCQ based examination. It consists of two papers, each paper carrying 180 marks. Okay, so totaling to 360 marks written. Then comes interview, which is 40 marks. So the total marks cumulatively add up to 400 marks. Then the next recruitment comes from Panchayat Raj department. Here basically this is a three-stage based examination. First is prelims or screening based examination, which is basically 100 marks consisting of 100 MCQs. This prelims marks is not taken to count the merit list. This is only for screening purpose. And next comes the mains examination. Mains examination consists of two papers. One general studies paper and another civil engineering paper. Each paper consisting of 300 marks. Totaling to 600 marks MCQ based written examination. After that comes interview. Here interview consists of 75 marks. So the total marks are to 675 marks. Okay, here is I have given the last year cutoff for recruitment for water resource department and Panchayat Raj department. For water resource department recruitment, the general cutoff goes around 283 out of 400, and for Panchayat Raj department, the general cutoff goes up to 423 out of 675. This is my scorecard here for recruitment for Panchayat Raj department. My score was around 491. So here this is the breakup. Okay. Then here comes the preparation strategy. So basically here the approach becomes two fronts. Okay, one for civil engineering paper and another for general studies paper. For civil engineering paper, I have not joined any coaching. What I did here, I just went for the videos available in YouTube. Okay, after that I personally went through IES master material. So this helped me in understanding the concepts. After that, I practiced MCQs from two books. Okay, one is Gupta and Gupta book, and another is R. Agar book. Those who are preparing for OPSC AEE examination, they are very well acquainted with these books, and in fact, large number of questions are also asked directly from these books. Okay, but what happens here many times, aspirants what do, they generally try to memorize the MCQs directly from these MCQ books without understanding the concept. But it is generally humanly not possible to memorize 5,000 or 10,000 MCQs without understanding the concept. So I will advise here, first understand the concepts and then move to these MCQs book. And then you memorize if it is needed. Okay. So then comes the general studies paper. For this paper, I have not prepared anything much, because as I have mentioned earlier, I was preparing for civil services, so I had a very good background on these general studies. But those who are new to this general studies paper, I would like to tell them that you can do one thing: just search in the YouTube UPSC marathon videos on any subject. For example, like on history or polity or geography. Okay, you search in the YouTube and some videos will come out. Okay, so you will watch these videos. You will get a overall idea what the subject history or what geography, what the subject is, and what type of questions you may get from these subjects. Okay, so after watching these videos, you can study from any standard book. Okay, some of these books like Lucent's GK book or Tarun Goel's GK book or any standard book you like. Okay, what happens once you get through these videos and then you turn to the books, so it becomes easy to grab the concepts or understand the things. Okay, so apart from that, I have prepared current affairs from. We can prepare current affairs from any standard magazine. Okay, there is no specific magazine for that, but personally I have preferred that is Gradus magazine, Gradus current affairs magazine. I think presently Baiju has taken Gradus. You can also follow that, and that is also a good one for preparing current affairs. Okay, for MCQ based examination only, not subjective examination. Okay. Then next after this written examination, MCQ based written examination, the next phase comes interview. In the interview, what happens, apart from technical things or civil engineering things, they also ask non-technical things. When you will go to OPSC interview, they generally give one form. Okay, that is called CIF or Candidate Information Form. In that form, you fill all the details about yourself, and it is most likely that all the non-tech questions they are going to ask, a major portion will be sourced from the CIF or the information you filled in the Candidate Information Form. For example, I have mentioned my schooling from JNV Konak. Okay, so the first question I faced in the interview board was why the beach festivals like Eco Retreat are being organized. The next question was what is the tagline in a policy tourism department. So whenever you are filling CIA form, so prepare it in very detail. We may get direct questions from this. Okay. So these days a big question arises whether the next recruitment will be through OPSC MCQ based examination or through GATE. Here I would like to mention that in a gazette notification published by Water Resource Department, it has been mentioned that all the A-level recruitment for OPSC, all the A-level recruitment will be done for GATE examination. But OPSC is yet to clear whether it is going to recruit through GATE or through own examination. I would like to advise here that it will better if we prepare for GATE so that we can crack any good PSU, and even if OPSC recruits through it, this is the added advantage. In fact, OPSC recruits through old MCQ based examination will hardly require. If you are preparing for GATE, your concept will be very clear. Okay, so you need to only go through this MCQ based examination, which will take hardly within 5 to 6 months. Will be okay through it. There will be no problem for you. So at this stage, I will tell you to prepare for GATE. Okay. You all know about GATE exam pattern. Now there are 100 marks examination, for which general aptitude consists of 15 marks, and then maths and rest consists of maths, engineering maths, and civil engineering paper questions. Okay. So I am not going to detail into it because we will get exhaustive idea about the GATE strategy in the net. So I am not delving much into it. Okay. So many times what happens when a candidate preparing for any examination, be it civil engineering paper or any other examination, what happens? It may happen that you may not click for first attempt. Okay. So never get disheartened if you are not able to crack it in the first attempt. In fact, our failure is an opportunity to learn also. Just learn why did you fail, capitalize on it, and again improve your mistake and come successful. There is a famous Japanese proverb, as we can see on the screen: fall down 7 times, stand up 8 times. And a person's greatness lies in getting up after each failure. Even in my case, before qualifying in this examination, I have faced many failures. Okay. Some of these, like I had failed in OPSC CSC, that is Civil Service Examination interview round. I was unable to qualify into the final round in Odisha Municipal Administrative Service interview. I was also rejected in the UPSC NDA, that is National Defence Academy final round. I failed in Civil Service Mains and Forest Service Mains. And one interesting thing, in the last OPSC recruitment, I was not able to even qualify into interview. I failed to make it interview by a large margin. But there I learned from my mistake, improvised on that, and this time I was able to make through it. So never get disheartened at your failure. Okay. I would like to tell one thing: this OPSC, OPSC Engineering Service Examination, that is Odisha Engineering Service Examination, definitely, without any doubt, these are prestigious jobs. But in my opinion, being passed out from premier institute, this should not be our aim. Okay, definitely a prestigious job, but we should aim for higher, like ESC or CSC, EPSC, CS, Civil Service Examination, or any job you idealize. Because if you dream higher, definitely you are going to achieve that. If your dream will be smaller, then we are not going to make it big. So dream higher. Anyway, you can in a very small span of period, you can very well prepare for OPSC. Okay, OPSC ESC. So I will again like to stress here: never get disheartened at your failure for whatever examination you are preparing. So again, every failure is a step to success. We should take it as a stepping stone for our success. Okay, so I will like to end my presentation here. So I think we should move to the question and answer session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was very informative session. I hope that the audience noted down some of the key preparation strategies, and it was the best example that shows failure are the steps for success.
So now we'll move on to the next segment of our today's session, that is the question and answer session. Please feel free to shoot your queries or doubts, anything you have in your mind in the live chat, and we will try our best to address most of them. Sir, we'll be reading out the questions, whatever our audience puts up, and please try to answer all those. Like, I'm sure most of the doubts will be cleared by the presentation, but still, in case you have any more, then you can mention it in the live chat. Someone asks, what books should we refer?
For OPSC, as I told for example, civil engineering paper, to just read through any good standard institute material, which will clarify your concepts. I was personally I was referring to IES Masters material. Okay, so after once the concepts get clear, then you refer to the MCQ books. Okay, for even for a gate also the same trick applies. Once you get your concept clear, you refer to the MCQs.
Can people from other states attempt OPSC?
Yes, it's definitely people from other state also can appear OPSC, but one obstacle here what happens is they generally ask ODI pass certificate. Okay, if you have ODI as a paper in 10th standard, or if you have passed ODI in your 7th standard, then there is no bar for appearing examinations for OPSC. You can appear, no issue with that.
Is OPSC AEE examination will continue recruiting every year?
So generally OPSC don't repeat every year. Generally it repeats in gap of 2 to 3 years. But whatever year the vacancy comes, it generally comes in multiples of 100. So good numbers of posts will come up. So whenever a vacancy comes, you can prepare for that. Presently, it's not repeating every year.
When should one start preparing for it?
I would advise that whenever you are in final year, to start preparing for whatever job you idealize. If you are choosing civil engineer as your career for next periods, to start from that period, prepare for GATE or ESC, whatever exam you are preparing. For OPSC ESC, I would like to tell that after the notification comes out, generally OPSC gives you a decent amount of time, like 4 to 5 months or 6 months. If you are already preparing 5 to 6 months, is a good amount of time within which you can prepare well for this examination. So there is no need to worry for this from the beginning.
Is academic syllabus enough, or we need to study something extra?
Okay, Vinayak, I would like to tell here that academic syllabus is definitely one of must for us, but OPSC has also its own syllabus. Okay, so apart from academic syllabus, whatever other things are mentioned in academic syllabus, very little variation will be there. Okay, so you refer to that, you will be okay with it.
Do we have any more questions? I okay. IES master notes or poster study package? What you followed, sir?
I had not followed any handwritten notes. I had followed those they give booklets, na. That booklets I had followed. Yes, that you can tell that postal study packages. Yes, that will be. I think that is what you are referring. I followed those.
Next question, please. Okay. Since you joined MU Sigma as a data scientist, how did you plan to change your career line to government sector?
Okay, Mohit, I would like to answer that I had not joined New Sigma. Before joining, I had set my mindset to prepare for UPSC Civil Services. So, I thought it was appropriate to prepare for UPSC Civil Services instead of joining New Sigma. So I didn't that company.
Can we have the next question now? Sonam Shriya asks, Sir, do you know the vacancy is coming in 2022 or not?
Okay, so now everyone is asking this question, but I think there are some. It was being heard that vacancy might come in 2022, but again we can't predict anything until it finally comes out. But there's a good amount of chance it might come in 2022.
Do we have any more questions? Vin asks how to get updated about various engineering services exam.
Okay, on this I like to tell that there are many websites on which you will get update about not only engineering service exams, also many government exams. Like I don't remember right now any, but there are number of websites that you can, if you follow those regularly, you can get you can have a very good idea whatever exam is coming at what time.
Uh, Debashish Jana asks, is OPSC OMAS recruitment coming this year?
Yes, Debasish. So actually, UMAS's recruitment is done through H&UD department, done by H&UD department, that is Housing and Urban Development Department, is Odisha Municipal Administrative Service. So as far as I know, already Housing and Urban Development Department has sent the requisition letter to OPSC. It is up to OPSC when it is publishing the advertisement, and I think we can hope this. I can hope the advertisement this year.
Can we have the next question? Biswajit asks, is the preparation strategies of OPSC AEE different from ESE?
Yes, yes, like completely different. In ESC, you have to prepare both subjective and subjective type of question. But generally in OPSC AEE, the examination is completely on MCQ based question. But if you are preparing for ESC, then you don't have to worry. You have already your concept clear, and there are two books that I mentioned, that is Gupta and R. Agar, from which most of the technical questions are pulled from. That will hardly take 2 to 3 months to get to practice those questions, and we will make it. No need to separately prepare from now.
Okay, so um, Rajesh asks, what is your view on OPSC AEE requirement through GATE scorecard?
If you ask my personal opinion, I will tell that it's a very good decision by Odisha government. Actually, what happens now, as I told, what in OPSC previously, OPSC asks most of technical questions from two books. So what happens? People what do they? They will just memorize those MCQs and just reproduce those answers in exam. So just not going a test of your aptitude, understanding or concept. Na. So if recruitment is being done for that, so those who are strong only in technical knowledge, they will be selected. So that is very good. In my opinion, that is a very good option, very good decision of Odisha government.
Um, Viswajit asks, what is the age limit for OPSC AEE?
I think Vishwajit, as far as I know, it's 32 years for general candidates, and 3-year relaxation for SC, BC, and I think 5 years for SC and ST categories.
Okay. Do we have any more questions? Audience, feel free to shoot your questions because this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity when you get to like get your doubts solved from such a huge, he's an alumnus and a topper. I guess we don't have any more questions, or do we? Okay. Mr. Jitas, do we need any special degrees for OPSC?
No, Mr. Jitno specialty, only you need BTech. I think we are asking about OPSC AEE. For ST AEE, only you need BTech.
Okay. So I think we've come to the end of the question and answer session. I guess we don't have, okay, we have one more. Subhranshu asks, so where should I practice non-tech MCQs?
Just I would like to mention here that non-tech MCQs are required only for the AEE recruitment for Panchayat Raj department. Okay, Panchayat Raj department has done recruitment recently only, and it's some time for the next recruitment to come. And for non-tech MCQs, there are one book I think by Aryan publication. There are some good number of questions. I think one Rakesh Yadav by Rakesh Yadav also. There also you can get a good amount of questions. I'm talking about OPSC AEE only. But if you're asking for other examination, like for OPSC CAC, then you need to study exhaustively and practice question from the different tests carried out by different institutes. I think I cleared you on this.
Aditya asks, can we prepare for state AEE along with IES?
Yes, definitely. As I mentioned before, if you are preparing for IAS, your concepts gets clear. Okay. So once your concepts get clear, whenever the OPSC advertisement comes for AEE, then you with your concept utilize the concept practice MCQs. That's all. In IAS you are studying the same thing. For OPSC AEE you also require the same thing. No need to prepare separately until the advertisement comes.
Okay. Do we have any more questions? Okay. I think we've come to the end of the question and answer session. So with this, we've finally come to the end of this highly motivating session by our gifted alumni. And sir, hearty congratulations on accomplishing such an exceptional feat. It was really an enlightening experience to have you all with us all. And now I would like to call upon Mr. Mohit Sahu, President of ICE NITR, to present the vote of thanks. Mohit Bhaiya, over to you now.
Hello everyone, I hope I'm audible. This is Mohit Kumar Sahu, pre-final year and the president of IC NITR. First, I would like to thank Mr. Debashish Khuntia sir. We are very grateful that you gave us your precious time for this webinar, and I hope the audience has a really forward future. Then I would like to thank the precious audience that stayed throughout the seminar and asked their doubts and cleared the doubts and have learned about what their future goal is, and I hope they are at least clear in somewhat ways. And also the precious organizing team that took efforts in making this event a successful one. At the last, I would like to say thank you all for turning up for the event. We hope that you are all keeping a good health and staying safe during the pandemic session. We'll have more such interesting webinars in the future. I hope you do log into our YouTube pages and our social media handles. And that's it. Take care, everyone, and thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone. With this, we've come to the end of it.
Sir, would you like to say something?